One thing a lot of people don't know about me is that I started out on the saxophone, and I was pretty serious saxophone player all the way into the beginning of my master's degree. I took up the bassoon around the eighth grade, I think, and I played it in high school and in college, undergraduate school, but it was very much a secondary instrument. And as a saxophone player, I played dance band music. I really enjoyed that. But I was a serious saxophone player. I was playing classical saxophone music, and there is such a thing, but rather narrow field. At any rate, in high school, I started my own band. Now, this was a dance band with five saxophones, four trumpets, four trombones, and these were all high school students that were playing in this. They were the best in Nashville, which is where I lived at that time. And the band was really pretty good. And I realized that I wasn't going to be able to keep this band together unless I found it some work, because we would rehearse, but what was the point of rehearsing if we never performed? So we went and auditioned at the YWCA, and we got selected to perform there once a month. Well, that was enough to keep the other members of the group rehearsing. And then we went and auditioned for a country club, and we got hired to play there. And so I guess you would say I've been creating performance opportunities since high school. And it continued at some point when I was at Lyric Opera. We decided that the Lyric Opera Orchestra should be heard beyond just playing in the pit. So we created a symphony orchestra to play symphonic music. It now is known as the Chicago Philharmonic, and it's got quite a season going on. And by the way, it's celebrating the same anniversary that we are this coming year. It's 35th. It started in its present form the same year as Midsummer's Music. And I served for quite a long time as kind of the artistic administrator, which meant that I was responsible for hiring conductors and soloists and working with the various conductors in putting together programs for the season and so forth. So a little bit like what I ended up doing with Midsummer's Music. So I had experience that way. Of course, all this time I was playing professionally at Lyric Opera as principal bassoon. My career lasted 48 years in that position, which I think still stands as a record. And also playing principal bassoon with the Grant Park Symphony Orchestra in the summer for 30 years. I played there until it was impossible to reconcile that season with Midsummer's Music. At first, I could do both of them. Gene and I could do both of them, but eventually, as Midsummer's Music grew, we had to make a choice, and the choice was fairly easy. And as an adjunct to all of this, I served on the faculty of Northern Illinois University as their bassoon professor, and retired from there and am now a professor emeritus from Northern. I also did some other things that gave me a different perspective. I worked in the commercial field, playing radio and TV commercials in recording studios. I was in Chicago. I was the main bassoon player that was called when a bassoon was needed. Obviously, bassoon doesn't appear in too many commercials, but when it did, I was the one that was called, and I would do about 15 commercials a year. So McDonald's, American Airlines, Keebler cookies and crackers, you name it. But I've played in almost every type and style of music and sung too. I've done a certain amount of singing. I've participated in rehearsals and performances of everything from medieval and Renaissance music to country and Western and jazz. And I played in a rock and roll combo on saxophone. And I played with great artists like Itzhak Perlman and Pavarotti and Renee Fleming and many wonderful conductors. So it's been a very rich career. that provides me with a certain background of and sensibility, I guess, or sensitivity too, to what we're doing and what we need to do and what the musicians that are a part of our group need in order to do their best and to shine and be well appreciated by the audience. I think that perspective helps because I've been so much a part of it. I know how musicians can be treated and how they should be treated. So I try to keep that in mind.